doing? Are you better?
I'm good. Welcome to Supposedly.
Welcome to Supposedly, the
Where
show where
we discuss my weird health things I had this week, apparently.
Yeah. Did you die?
No, I am alive. I did not die. I did have one of the worst sinus infections I have had in my life. Like, to the point where when I was getting up, I felt dizzy and I was feeling really exhausted. My head hurt constantly. There was just no good coming out of me for like a week and a half, almost 2 weeks.
Well,
And now, of course, I'm having to play catch up from all that.
Yeah.
Which has been stressful in itself.
Yikes.
Yeah. How are you feeling?
I'm good. My anniversary was yesterday when we record, so 2 days ago when this comes out, because between you being sick and my anniversary, had to super delay our recording.
What did you and Darnell do for your anniversary?
So we kind of made a weekend of it. So being in Europe, we had planned to go on some big fancy trip.
Why would you not?
Why would you not? And
Except for the pandemic.
Obviously that became a no-go. So we just decided to make it as special as we could here. One of the movie theaters out in Nuremberg has opened up, social distanced, of course, and we got to go and watch Star Wars Episode 5 out there on Friday.
Aww.
It was a lot of fun. They did a great job of making it feel safe in the lobby and everywhere. You wore a mask, and then we picked a really non-busy time to go. So there was 2 other groups in the theater. I think there were 6 of us total in the whole auditorium. So it felt super
safe.
Yeah. And then on Saturday we did a really nice picnic.
Oh.
And that was a lot of fun. And then had a whole German family in traditional German attire come and do a family photo where we were.
Like lederhosen?
Lederhosen. It was just this is such a nice picnic. Oh, look, it's extras from Midsommar. Which I know they're not German, but to a dumb American, when you see 25 people in lederhosen and...
Oh my! See, when you said a family, I was thinking
grandma,
5,
grandpa, uncles, cousins.
Full lederhosen clad clan. Okay.
And one of the, I guess, brothers, dads, he was probably in his 30s. He was very talkative and came and chatted with us a whole bunch. And invited us over to his house.
Well, that's nice.
It was. You go? No, his wife was very angry in the background, gesturing, come here. And he was
Smile for the photo. It's all you had to do, Hans. You had to show up and stand there.
Yeah. And so he was oh, my wife.
Sorry, Heidi. I'm sorry.
He was oh, my wife. She is, how you say, unrestful. And I was okay, well, we're probably not going to come to her house then. But it was really sweet. And then yesterday was our actual anniversary, and we just watched movies and had a nice dinner. We watched Hamilton, of course, because I'm me.
That's great. Yeah. I'm so excited. That sounds like you had a nice time, even though it was all pandemiced up.
We did. It was very memorable, given the pandemic.
The lederhosen?
Well, that part too, yeah. But yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. We made it work.
I have a rant.
Oh, okay. Oh, hold on. I hope that didn't. I'm going to turn off my messenger in the background.
Okay.
I cannot minimize a Zoom meeting while I record. That's rude. But I can probably maximize this. Ha ha ha. They don't own me.
You are the tech one in your relationship.
I am.
See, that's not me. I'm the Scoob in the relationship I share with nobody.
Okay.
Right now. But I'm looking for a tech-savvy person.
There you go.
Yeah.
Techies need apply.
I'll cook, you fix tech,
hey.
Mow the lawn,
cool.
Paint walls, carve a pumpkin, and bury small animals when needed.
I love it.
That's my list.
I can't wait to see the Craigslist ad you post.
I am not that desperate yet.
Okay.
Give it 2 more years, 3 more cats, and we'll get to the Craigslist ads.
Okay.
But so far, so good.
So what's your rant?
I will tell you. Okay. So Netflix released the new Unsolved Mysteries this week. And I hate it.
Oh, no. Why do you hate it?
I am an avid Unsolved Mysteries fan.
Yeah.
For me, there is nothing better than that series. And here's why. 1, you get a little bit of everything in every episode. And to be clear, I'm talking about the old Unsolved Mysteries,
Right.
which would have typically about 1 to 5 segments that would vary. It would be very true crime heavy, but then in there you might get, oh, a paranormal sprinkling, or
Yeah.
oh, here's a little something about past lives,
Mm-hmm.
or anything like that. Alien encounters, you name it. And what I loved about it is even if you didn't connect with a certain segment, all you had to do was wait a couple minutes and there'd be a new thing on.
Yeah.
And to me, that was phenomenal. The second thing I loved about Unsolved Mysteries, which is not in the new version, is the creepy host. You can't have unsolved frickin' mysteries without the creepy host.
Yeah.
Yeah, so first it was Robert Stack, which, by the way, is a man who looks like he is a walking Men in Black agent. And I'm not talking about like the Will Smith, Tommy Lee Jones Men in Black. I'm talking about a real Men in Black, alien, human, creepy, authoritarian hybrid.
Yes.
And he was perfect. And then you got Dennis Ferreira, who was the lighter end of that, but he seemed more like, oh, police chief, trusted guy.
Yeah.
And that worked. It all worked. There's no host now. They do have a slight little picture of Robert Stack, the original host, in the intro for a half second. Because he did really fit the vibe of that with the creepy Men in Blackness. Right. But it's a split second and it's gone. Next thing I hate about the new Unsolved Mysteries, besides it's 1 segment long, I don't like that there are no reenactments.
Oh, yeah. That made it.
That made it.
Yeah.
Do you know how many famous actors have been in an Unsolved Mysteries reenactment? I don't know, but at least Matthew McConaughey, and it was terrible, and I loved every frickin' minute of it.
It's like a mark of, oh yeah, been there, done that.
Yes, but that's what made that show amazing.
Exactly, yeah.
Basically what they've done is they've taken Unsolved Mysteries, and they have stripped it of all that made it great, and now it's every true crime documentary out there. Oh, and then they'll sprinkle in an alien thing here. Okay, cool. But here's the thing. I don't want to watch an hour, 45 minutes about all one case unless I'm sitting down for a full documentary series on that case.
Right, that's like Cold Case.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is brilliant, but that's what you're going into it looking for.
But let's also admit that there are so many true crime shows out there right now that, I mean, it just feels like every single other one. They took what was great about it, and it's now not Unsolved Mysteries. I still highly recommend people watch it, and here's why. I hope they pull their heads out of their asses, and they bring it back to the way it used to be.
Yeah.
Number 1. And number 2, I hope people watch it because there are families desperately seeking answers through this medium, and you never know what you could have witnessed or might know from some of these things people are still seeking answers from.
Yeah.
I will give them a couple points of positivity. I like how they paid homage to the original with the updated font logo.
Okay, yeah, I've seen that.
I do like their intro. I do like what they did with the intro music. But other than that, it's every crime documentary out there. And we have enough of that.
I do like that all of your perks are very industry specific as someone in film. You're like, you have a good logo. You have a nice intro. You're like, your show fucking blows. But like, I like the production value.
Okay, I will say the production value is pretty good. And I also like that now they're doing it around the world. Yeah. So it's Unsolved Mysteries from around the world. But I don't think that negates anything from the original because they did Stonehenge in the original. Actually, one of my favorite all-time Unsolved Mystery segments was the true crime story I did last week.
Yeah.
Yeah, that came from Unsolved Mysteries. So I want to like it, but I don't.
That's fair.
I still watched it to force myself, but I don't know. Probably everyone else out there is rolling their eyes and like, it's fine, Jesse, calm down. It's not fine. I go to sleep to Unsolved Mysteries, the original episodes, and then the Dennis Ferreira episodes every frickin' night.
Yeah.
This has been a tradition for me for years and years. It's not okay. Bring back Unsolved Mysteries. You want to know why it ran for 12 years? Because it worked. It worked. It solved so many cases. I mean, that's another thing. Yes, you get to, I'm sorry, I keep ranting about this. But yes, you get to hear from the family members of the victims. And I feel like they tried to get you to have an emotional tie to the victims of some of these crimes through that, which is okay. And I feel like it was effective.
Yeah.
But think about how many more mysteries could be solved if you have 5 in an episode.
Right, for
And
sure.
I still don't feel like it would have lost any informational value on the case.
Yeah.
And that is why I am upset this week. So.
Well, I'm very sorry.
You have a husband, so you don't have to obsess over things like this. But me and my cats are pissed.
That's all right. No, I'm celebrating because Golden State Killer finally got his day in court.
Yeah!
That was exciting. It only took, a million fucking years, but hey.
For forever.
Never. Yeah.
Genetic detective work went into that, and I found that so cool.
Yeah, that's always really cool to me how they can trace that so much later.
Yeah.
And then there are people who are like,
I do highly recommend The Genetic Detective. I don't remember what network it's on.
Yeah.
But they talk a little bit about Golden State and her work in that case and her work in a bunch of other cases. And I think that's an original good true crime show that's out there right now. Check it out.
But no, I love how there are people who are like, this is why you shouldn't do the 23andMe or whatever. I'm like, bro, let my DNA solve an unsolved mystery. Like, I'm so down. If I can help put a killer behind bars, like, let's go. I have some weird cousins out there,
Yeah, for me, I don't know. I don't know my birth father. He's
Yeah.
somebody that I would never really want to meet.
Mm-hmm.
But I would like to know, like, my dream scenario is I'm able to, like, hire a private detective to spy on him and then tell me, like, what his life is like and stuff, and then I'll be good. Okay, all right, cool. At least I know, but I don't have to interact with this person, right? That's the dream scenario for me. But I do have a concern doing DNA. I haven't done it yet, and I really want to because I don't know anything about my genealogy on that side.
Right,
or,
yeah.
My nationalities and all that. I feel like it'd answer a lot of unknown questions for me, but at the same time, I am just kind of paranoid. Like, what if, I don't know.
Yeah.
I know this is a weird thing to be paranoid about.
No, I think it's valid in this day and age.
Oh, here's another one, though. You didn't let me finish with the why I'm weirdly paranoid.
Okay.
What happens if, say, 10, 20, 30, 50 years down the road, because our DNA is available online in different data networks, and some of these companies do sell the results of your individual tests, what if people are making clones of you in the future?
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't think I'm cool enough to clone. I am not a fine specimen in any capacity. All I do is drink wine and complain and listen to musicals. Like, no one wants
I get paranoid. Like, what if they try to clone you without your knowledge, and then your clone is suffering a terrible life? And I don't know. I just have a bunch of weird hang-ups about doing it. I should probably do it just to find out what the DNA results are and all that. And I want to do it, but that's the only thing that's prevented me is, like, will someone potentially want to clone somebody in the future and then just, like, randomly pull my stuff? Or, I know, I'm thinking way too highly, like, probably nobody cares. But
I saw that Will Smith movie, Gemini Man, that came out last year, and the reason that they chose him is because he was, like, super badass Will Smith who could, like, ride a motorcycle backwards with one hand. I can't do that, so I feel like that alone makes me safe.
Yeah, but, like, what if in the future people are able to pirate DNA just like they are any sort of, I don't know, music, television experience, and then they could put you in a shell and extract information from you, your clone, or your, I don't know.
I think you need to write that movie.
Human trafficking, what if they just, like, because they can have you at any age they want you if they've got your DNA.
But would my DNA have my memories? I mean, that's the whole...
Your DNA probably doesn't have your memories. That's true. Yeah. That's probably a weird psycho-paranoia thing that I've got at the moment.
Like I said, I think you should write that science fiction movie, and it'll be like the next Ridley Scott hit when production's allowed to start again.
He's my dream director. Like, if I could work under one director, it'd be Ridley Scott.
Yeah, that's a solid choice.
Yeah, for sure.
So should we tell some stories?
Yeah, now I'm thinking about DNA tests. Why don't you start?
Okay.
Break me out of my funk.
All right.
Welcome to Mysteries and Mayhem.
All right. So, Jesse. Put your thing down, flip it, and reverse it.
Okay, Missy Elliott.
Yeah. Today.
My thing is down, flipped, and reversed.
Today we're talking about backmasking.
Is it like a beauty product for your back that removes back knee? Like a back mask?
No, it is not. It is the art of playing a record backwards.
Oh, this is gonna
Yes.
be good. Okay.
So, in the 1960s, John Lennon of the Beatles stumbled upon backmasking, and they included a backmasked line in their song Rain. Later, in a Rolling Stone interview in 1968, John said, "We'd done the main thing at EMI, and the habit was then to take the songs home and see what you thought a little gimmick or what the guitar piece would be. So I got home about 5 in the morning, stoned out of my head. I staggered up to my tape recorder and I put it on, but it came out backwards, and I was in a trance in the earphones. What is it? What is it? It's too much, you know? And I really wanted the whole song backwards almost, and that was it. So we tagged it on at the end."
Interesting.
So in 1969, a conspiracy was spread by American college students that Paul McCartney had been killed in a car accident in 1966 and had been replaced by a look-alike, and the band had been leaving secret messages about his death in their music and artwork.
Ooh, hey, the modern day version of that is Avril Lavigne. People
I
think Avril
know.
Lavigne was killed. So cool.
Yeah,
Go on.
yeah. So this conspiracy led people to look into the backmasking the band did, as well as search for more hidden messages. Supposedly, on the original album, between I'm So Tired and Blackbird, if you play John's mumbling backwards, you can hear, "Paul's a dead man. Miss him. Miss him."
No way. I wish we had that audio clip.
Yeah, there's probably too much copywriting, but it's super easy to find on YouTube, so
Okay.
yeah.
Well,
All right, so that
me
was,
and the listeners will check it out.
there you go. So that was the
All
60s.
16 of us.
Yeah. What's up, guys?
What's up, 15 listeners?
Woo woo. Okay, so now we're going to go from the 60s and jump ahead to the 1980s with Satanic Panic.
Oh, I could go for some satanic panic stories.
Who couldn't? So, primed by decades of looking for these secret messages, when Satanic Panic took off, people were ready to look for these messages everywhere they could. This was inspired by a scene in the 1973 film The Exorcist, when a tape of garbled language spoken by the character is then in English when played in reverse.
Ooh.
And so people are like, oh, clearly the devil speaks backwards and we can decode it.
And music and
Yeah. So Ozzy Osbourne referenced this film in a backmasked line in his song Bloodbath in Paradise. And so that gave even more creed to this idea.
What did he say?
I'm not sure. I think he just referenced The Exorcist. I didn't look that one up actually, but I should. Yeah. So in 1975, Electric Light Orchestra released El Dorado, in which fundamentalist Christians attacked for having the message, "He is the nasty one, Christ, you're infernal," in it. The band denied the satanic connotations and clapped back by adding an intentionally backmasked portion of a song on their next album, which says, "The music is reversible, but time is not. Turn back, turn back, turn back."
That's kind of a cool clapback.
Yep.
Yeah, well done. Well done.
In 1983, they went on to release the album Secret Messages, which includes entirely backmasked vocals. The final track contains the backmasked message, "Thank you for listening." So they just are trolling these fundamentalists.
And they're polite
at this
on
point.
top of that.
Yeah. Because they're like, dude, we're not Satanists. We're not adding dark messages. You're just being dumb.
Hey, 15 listeners. If you're listening to this right now, go back and replay our entire podcast. Let us know if we said something backmasked.
Whoa. In 1979, Pink Floyd included a backmasked message in empty spaces on the wall that says, "Congratulations, you've just discovered the secret message. Please send your answer to Old Pink, care of the Funny Farm, Chalfont." This is likely a reference to the original singer Syd Barrett, who had a, quote, breakdown in 1968. So the phenomenon of backmasking gained a lot of traction when a radio DJ played Led Zeppelin's Stairway to Heaven in reverse for the listeners to hear the message he'd decoded. The band announced the subliminal messaging and stated they'd written the song with the best of intentions. So apparently if you play Stairway to Heaven backwards, you hear "My Sweet Satan."
I've heard that Stairway to Heaven links up. Is it Stairway to Heaven that links up with The Wizard of Oz?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So now that we have kind of an idea of who some of the more famous backmaskers are, we're going to talk about the fundamentalist Christians who flipped their ever-loving minds over this.
Can I just take a guess at one of them right now?
Sure.
The Bakers. Jim Bob and Tammy Faye Baker. Is it Jim Bob Baker?
I don't see
Tammy
any,
Faye Baker.
I don't see anything about them, but maybe they
Okay.
weren't the big ones.
Do you remember Tammy Faye with the eyelashes?
Yes. Yeah. No, I didn't see anything about them officially, but I'm sure they hated it too. So anyways, these fundamentalist Christians formed the Parents Music Resource Center, which we're going to call the PMRC, in 1985. And they quickly got to work condemning Judas Priest, Led Zeppelin, and even the Eagles for containing these subliminal messages in their songs as the work of the devil.
All sorts of great bands.
Yeah. Basically, if you were big in like the 70s, they totally thought you were just Satan all around.
Oh, all around.
All around. So PMRC and other extremist groups asserted that Satan and satanic music used backmasking to alter the behavior of listeners. Pastor Gary Greenwald claimed that subliminal messaging backmasked into rock music induced listeners towards sex and drug use.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I know subliminal messaging was used to sell movie theater snacks for a time.
Yeah?
But
Same thing.
Well, different thing. That was actual subliminal messaging, whereas this just seems like they're kind of trying to do the cool thing and put something backwards on the tape because that spikes sales and
Yeah.
sticks it to the man.
Right. Yeah. So Christian DJ Michael Mills argued in 1981 that the subconscious mind is being successfully affected by the repetition of beat and lyrics, being affected through a subliminal message, and he actually toured the nation to give speeches warning parents of these subliminal messages in rock music.
Okay, look, my subliminal mind is not that smart. Like, there's a really good chance in regular conversation I'm going to miss something. So it being hidden backwards between music, I'm going to miss it even more. So
Yeah.
no, I don't think that would be effective for me. But
yeah, me either. In 1985, Joe Stussy testified to the United States Congress at the PMRC hearings that, quote, the message of a piece of heavy metal music may also be covert or subliminal. Sometimes sub-audible tracks are mixed in underneath other louder tracks. These are heard by the subconscious but not the conscious mind. Sometimes the messages are audible but are backward, called backmasking. There is disagreement among experts regarding the effectiveness of the subliminals. We need more research on that. And in his written testimony, he said, some messages are presented to the listener backwards. While listening to a normal forward message, often somewhat nonsensical, one is simultaneously being treated to a backwards message. In other words, the lyric sounds like one set of words going forward and a different set of words going backwards. Some experts believe that while the conscious mind is absorbing the forward lyric, the subconscious is working overtime to decipher the backwards message.
I feel like my subconscious has a lot more to deal with than trying to decipher backwards messages. It's probably like, why are you the way that you are? So the time is too busy.
Yeah.
Oh, backwards message? We don't have time for that, Jesse. We need to figure out why you still try to eat pudding with a straw sometimes.
Oh my God.
Let's recount your dating choices. Let's work on that first.
I love it. So, backmasking has actually been brought up in famous court cases, including that of Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker.
Yeah, okay.
Who I definitely want to cover in the future. During his trial in 1988, Ramirez claimed that AC/DC's music, most directly the song Night Prowler on the album Highway to Hell, inspired him to commit murder.
Okay, all right. This is a message for all you serial killers out there. Claiming the music inspired you is bullshit.
Yeah.
Looking at you, Charles Manson. Looking at you, Night Stalker. I'm sure there are lots of others, but who's the guy who tried to kill Paul McCartney?
You mean the guy who actually killed John Lennon?
Oh yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, Mark David Chapman.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think
he claimed Catcher in the Rye, to be fair, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, fair. We'll exclude him from this, but same
no,
general vibe towards him too.
If you want to kill people, your brain is broken. It's not the music's fault. You probably suffered a head injury as a child,
or you were just born
to be a murderer. Yeah. Anyways, It's not AC/DC's fault. So, reverse speech advocate David John Oates, not of Hall & Oates, unfortunately, that would be way more fun, claimed that Highway to Hell on the same album that Ramirez claimed caused him to murder people, contains backmasked messages including "I'm the law," "My name is Lucifer," and "She belongs in hell." AC/DC's Angus Young responded, "You didn't need to play it backwards. We never hid the messages. We called the album Highway to Hell. It was right there in front of them."
Oh man, AC/DC is like respect.
Right? It's like, bro, why are you going through all this effort to play it backwards when it's literally Highway to Hell?
They're like, yeah, that's what we were going for, but not like we didn't say murder people, but at the
Right.
same time.
Well, and like my thing is like, okay, so if Stairway to Heaven played backwards is like My Sweet Satan, wouldn't Highway to Hell played backwards be like, oh yeah, God is amazing?
That's a really cool way to look at it. You know, honestly, I don't know that anybody thought that far ahead from AC/DC. I mean, clearly they thought far enough ahead to put messages in their music and stuff like that, but at that point, I honestly think, all right, I'm going to say it. I dated a musician, and a lot of musicians have a lot of little nods they do.
Yeah.
Or, I'm blanking, I'm still getting over my sickness, I'm sorry. But they have little histories and little traditions.
Yeah.
And little superstitions. So, of course, once somebody puts secret messages in it, they're all like, oh, that's badass. Let's fuck with the people that already think our music sucks anyway.
Yo.
Yeah, let's do it. Of course.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit more about this David John Oates dude, because his science is pretty whack. He created the pseudoscience of reverse speech, wherein he posits that for every 15 to 20 seconds of casual conversation, a person will produce two related sentences, a forward-spoken message that is consciously heard, and a backwards message unconsciously embedded into the person's speech. The forward and backward modes of speech are supposedly dependent on each other and form an integral part of human communication. He supposes that the dynamics of interpersonal communication relies on both modes of speech combining to communicate the total psyche of the person, conscious as well as unconscious, which is like so whack. Because like that's saying that like as you and I are speaking right now, there's a secret underlayer that's backwards that your brain is interpreting.
My brain's very tired, so
Yeah.
if you're trying to send me a backwards message right now, I'm not gonna get it. You'd have a better chance at sending me fairy snacks again, just say.
That worked really well.
That did work really well. You trapped me very well. I think next episode I might try to slip a backwards message into it for you, and we'll see if you pick up on it subliminally.
Okay. I like that. I think maybe at the end of this episode we should try and say something that I can edit backwards to see if it comes up with anything.
Wait, better idea.
Okay.
I go and I get Christy, and you record her saying something, and then you play it for me. That way one of us doesn't know what it is, so we can really test it.
Okay.
Huh?
Yeah, I dig it.
Or one of us can record it together, and then we play it for Christy.
Yeah, I like that.
And Darnell.
Yes.
And we see what they think.
Did you show Christy the video of the darkness?
No, I haven't yet.
Okay.
I have not done anything with my life for like 2 weeks other than try to catch up on work and rest.
That straight had me fucked up though.
It's weird I got really sick after.
Yeah.
When you think about it. No, was I already sick? I can't remember.
You were sick, but it got so much worse.
It did get so much worse.
You were like, I don't feel good. And then after we recorded, you're like, I need to go to the doctor before I freaking die.
It felt like I was dying. Every day was a migraine. I felt dizzy just walking around. It was terrible. And the doctor said it's because there was a bad desert storm or something that blew all the sand, and now like the Midwest is getting it, and we're not used to that, so I couldn't process stuff right. I don't know, but it was terrible, which makes me really nervous about moving to the Southwest now.
Yeah, I bet. Anyways, okay, so Oates claims that backward speech is always honest and reveals the truth about the speaker's intentions and motivations. The most famous recording that allegedly demonstrates this is the speech given by Neil Armstrong at the time of the first manned lunar landing on July 20th, 1969. If played backwards, the words "small step for man" sound somewhat like "man will spacewalk." Which, like, look,
okay. Look, I feel like this guy's trying too hard.
He's trying super hard.
because is this just a thing with English, or is I assume he means this with all languages, because he's saying that it's a human thing. So humans developed all languages to be able to do this backwards and forwards thing, and I just don't think we're that smart.
Yeah, I don't either. But
Okay.
so let's get to the science of this, because we've been talking about Oates' pseudoscience for a while. Let's get some actual scientific data in here.
Okay.
So are musicians hiding satanic subliminal messages in their music? Probably not.
Probably.
Oh, okay. Well, some musicians have leaned into backmasking and use it to leave fun messages for their audience or to troll their haters. It's unlikely that it's ever actually used to impart subliminal messaging into the minds of the youth. If you actually,
Exactly.
yeah, if you actually
We
listen,
agree.
if you, Jesus, if you actually
What?
listen, oh my God, I'm gonna say this 17 times. Okay,
I'm gonna make you keep saying it.
great. And then I'll just play this part backwards. Here.
And yes, we give it away.
Ja, niet meer det är så det väl jag var If you actually listen to most backmasking, it sounds pretty much like garbled nonsense. At most, you may pick out a word or two that sounds familiar. That's because of how our brains pick up on patterns which are familiar. One way that we pick up on patterns is through pareidolia, which is when we find symbols where there are none, like seeing faces in the wallpaper, making pictures in the clouds, that type of thing. Our brain feels safer when it can ascribe symbols to random items. And then apophenia is using those symbols to justify behavior. So like Richard Ramirez deciding that because he heard Satan, he now should go murder people. So audio engineer Evan Alcott has spoken about the unlikeliness of backmasking being intentional and says actually engineering or planning a phonetic reversal is next to impossible, and even more difficult when trying to design it with words that fit into a song. And he claims that it is more likely that the sounds are coincidental reversals. Another skeptic and critic of the pseudoscience of reverse speech is Michael Shermer, and according to him, filling out garbled speech is actually a huge part of how we deal with auditory clutter. When you're trying to talk to your friend at a noisy bar, remember when that was a thing, and your ear hears,
Yeah.
and your ear hears, I'm gonna go get a, your brain is able to process through pareidolia and context clues that your friend's going over to get a beer. And there's an ambulance going by.
Question.
Yeah.
Okay, what's it called when you make out faces in the clouds and stuff like that? You just said it.
Pareidolia.
Okay, well, I'm experiencing some pareidolia on your webcam right now because vaguely the pattern of the tapestry to your my left looks like an alien right now.
No, I can see that.
Yeah, because it's got kind of the sideways eyes. It looks like a gray alien.
Yeah. No, I can totally see that. So yeah, your brain is experiencing some pareidolia.
Absolutely.
So you and I are also pretty familiar with this concept in the show We Love to Hate, where you hear a garbly EVP that doesn't sound like anything, but Zach hears "shot him down" after being primed that one of the ghosts is apparently a man who was shot. So we hear
very Baggins. Can we just call that the Baggins phenomena?
Yes, the Baggins effect.
The Baggins effect.
So most of the time, if the listener hasn't been primed with what they should be listening for, they won't hear the supposed subliminal message. But the message becomes very clear when told what to hear or when the lyrics are made available. This phenomenon makes it super easy to spread backmasking, and it probably all has the satanic undertones because the kids were playing records backwards in the 80s, where the crowd that was doing it had just outgrown like games like light as a feather, stiff as a board. So they were already like, ooh, let's listen for creepy messages. Like, it's a sleepover game.
It sold some serious records,
yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Smart.
But it was probably a fun sleepover game because back then you could, now we have to have like some tech to do it. But when you had a record, you could just literally spin it backwards and just, slumber party game and probably get yelled at by your dad for like jacking up the records.
Don't scratch the records!
Wait until the Beastie Boys come around. Yeah, right. So if you want to hear some backmasking for yourself and try and suss out whether or not it's horrifying and demonic or it's Freddie Mercury saying that you should smoke marijuana, you can find a bunch of playlists and hear examples on YouTube and stuff. So see what you make of it for yourself.
Maybe you could post a link to one
Yeah.
of those playlists on our
For
Facebook.
sure. I listened to a lot of it.
Or
My
Twitter.
favorite one is probably the Dora the Explorer theme.
I've got to know what that says.
It's horrifying. A lot of people think it's, satanic because that's what we all want to hear, but it's just weird. Queen was another one. Like I said, people think Freddie says it's fun to smoke marijuana. And then there's a lot of Satan stuff in other
Here's
ones.
a question for
Yeah.
you. What would you say on a backmasked track? What would your message be, your hidden message?
Oh,
And you could
gosh.
say anything, but it's got to be short.
Probably just like bring me food. Well, God, knowing if you edited this podcast like I do, you would know that would be my backmasked message. The amount of so have you seen like the sound wave tattoos that people get that's like their mom saying I love you?
Do you want to get that of
I want to get it of just on my goddamn forehead like Mike Tyson because it's gotten to the point with editing where I know what the sound signature looks like and I just
that you can
delete
spot it out?
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm just like,
man.
I say there. Cool. I'm gonna just delete that so our listeners don't
You're
have to
gonna have a hard
um,
time now that we've talked about this, though,
Yeah.
because you
Maybe
can't just
I'll
go in and delete all that.
I'll just compile all of my and just backmask them at the end. It'll just be ma.
Now you've told everybody your plan.
I know, but maybe me saying backwards is like bring ice cream.
I doubt that you could get that much out of so little, but
Ask the PMRC because they're great at getting a lot out of a little.
let's see. Come on, you got to pick something better than that.
Yeah, no, I think like bring me snacks.
Bring me snacks is a great one.
Yeah.
It's legit.
Yeah.
I would backmask like a secret location.
Oh.
Latitude and longitude.
Okay. For what?
Chipotle, I don't know.
I was gonna say just like a KFC or something.
Just like, yeah, and then really make people wonder, and then the whole time I'd be laughing to myself that they're like, oh no, it's gotta be under the Chipotle. It's gotta be more than that, and it isn't.
And
I
then
just picked
people
it out randomly to send people on a wild goose chase because for my own amusement.
People go full like Nick Cage, National Treasure.
Exactly. Yes. Okay. Have you heard of The Secret? The book?
Oh yeah.
Not that one. Not the Oprah endorsed one.
Oh, okay.
There's a book called The Secret, and it's a bunch of drawings in it, and a poem that goes with each drawing. Well, if you decipher
I thought
the
those
poem
were the same book.
and you decipher pictures in it, nope, different books.
Okay.
Then they reveal locations where you can dig and
Yeah.
find a plexiglass container containing a sculpturized box, and in it will be a ceramic key that you then turn in to win a gem.
Huh.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Very
But
cool.
that's what I would do, except there would be no payoff. There would only
Yeah.
be madness and the thrill of the hunt.
I love it. The thrill of the hunt that ends at Chipotle.
Yeah, and while you're there, pick me up a double steak burrito.
Oh my
Please
god.
and thank you.
We talk about Chipotle so much on this show, and every
Delicious
time it
sauce
makes
us.
me mad.
Oh, because you can't
I
have
still
it.
haven't had Chipotle. It's been I got here in
I'm sorry, we gotta stop doing that then.
I got here in September, so it's been 9 months since I've had Chipotle.
That's
Yep.
That's
Some people make a whole human
So
baby in the
long.
amount of time that I
that
have
you
not
have
had
not
Chipotle.
had Chipotle.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
I gotta say the ambulances there sound happier than the ones here.
They do, and I'm sorry you can hear that to all of our listeners. I have the window open because it's so hot. So Germany doesn't believe in air conditioning, and it's like 75 degrees today, and I'm in my cave, so I have to have a little bit of ventilation.
They don't believe in air conditioning?
Nope.
Dang.
And obviously I can't have the fan on because you think the ambulance is loud.
I mean, that's a marvel of science. Thank
It
God for air
is.
conditioning.
Yep.
Our just our comfy American butts.
I know.
I mean,
So,
we
yeah.
even have heated seats. Do they believe in heated seats?
Oh yeah, because they love their cars, like BMWs and stuff.
Okay, so they believe in
Yeah.
heated seats, but not air conditioning?
There's air conditioning in
A
vehicles,
bit of a stretch,
just not in
Germany.
houses.
Bit of a stretch.
Yeah.
Bit of a stretch.
To be fair though, it's only warm here for like 2 months.
I guess that is fair.
Yeah, it'll be like really chilly by September.
Still 2 months I would have rather have been air conditioned.
Agreed. I'm living it. Agreed. All right. So what did you bring for us today?
Oh, yeah. Sorry,
Oh.
I got all stuck in your backmasking story. I was thinking all about that, and I forgot to bring to the table what I brought today, which is Jesse's Unsolved Mysteries, bitches! So, since I'm so disappointed with the Unsolved Mysteries remake, I'm just going to do a little version of myself here after I yelled at the cat for trying to knock. No. Okay. He's very offended. You should see his face. He's like,
Oh,
what?
How dare you admonish me, human?
I triple clapped him.
Ooh.
And that's, if you could see his face right now. Okay. So, I will say that my Unsolved Mysteries will be lacking a few things. Creepy host, unless you think I'm creepy, in which case, hey, cool. All right, and reenactments.
Oh.
But I'm going to use the segmented form.
Can I reenact for you?
Please, I would
Can it be
love
like-
it if you would reenact for me.
We've been watching a lot of Drunk History because, of course, with Hamilton coming out on Disney Plus, we had to watch
No,
Lin-Manuel Miranda's Drunk History.
No, this is Jesse's Unsolved Mysteries. You can't drunk history this shit.
No, but have you
You
seen
take it seriously.
Have you seen their reenactments though?
Yeah.
Yeah, where it's just the guy who's like, hold on, and then they have like Elvis or Richard Nixon or whoever being like, whoa, all right, I'm ready.
Okay.
Like that's gonna be me. I
will leave them to your interpretation, but no, this is very dear to my heart. So
all
don't
right.
offend me.
It's my turn to transatlantic Gandalf, so suck it.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So do you also want to be the creepy host?
No, I think that's you. That's all you.
Okay. Can you make a fake theme song for me real quick? And then I'll be Unsolved Mysteries. This week on supposedly Unsolved Mysteries, the Jameson family. The Jameson family consisted of 2 adults and 1 young daughter, and they were interested in purchasing a plot of land in Oklahoma. So they drive out in their pickup truck to check it out, and their truck is later found abandoned. $32,000 cash was found in the truck, along with the Jamesons' IDs, wallets, mobile phones, and GPSs. The family dog was also left in the truck and was extremely malnourished, which is really sad because poor puppy.
Aww.
Later, a camera was discovered, and the final picture was of their daughter, a 6-year-old girl named Madison, who looks somewhat distressed in the photograph. Security footage is later uncovered with the family appearing in a trance-like state and not speaking to one another. The Jameson skeleton remains were found years later, dumped less than 3 miles from where the pickup truck was originally discovered, and the remains appear to show no sign of a struggle. To this day, it's unsolved. This is where you do a little segment.
Oh no! Where? What am I doing?
You could either. Okay, look. You can either do a reenactment now, or you can give me some creepy theme music to go into the next one, and then pick a time to do a reenactment in the next one.
All right.
Next on Jesse's Unsolved Mysteries. Now do the song. Supposedly Unsolved Mysteries.
Supposedly.
Our next story is about Rico Harris. Rico Harris was a massive 6'9" former Harlem Globetrotter basketball player who had a bit of drug issues earlier in his life, but had made a full recovery and was getting his life back on track. He was driving along California's Interstate I-5 from his home in Southern California to Seattle to live with his girlfriend. He was somewhere just north of Sacramento, exhausted, and told his girlfriend over the phone that he wanted to check out the mountains. All calls stopped since then. Here's your reenactment moment.
Hey babe, it's me, Rico. I'm gonna go check out the mountains. It just feels like the right thing to do.
His car was found a couple days later by patrolmen near the rest stop in the mountains. A massive search was launched. No signs of him. The strangest part? A driver later reported seeing the massive 6'9" individual wandering down the highway just a mile from where the car was found. A week later, a search was relaunched. Massive size 17 footprints were found on the ground that were not there before. They were getting very close, and then nothing. No trace, no body, nothing. Where did Rico go the first time he disappeared?
Where was he for an entire week? And where did he disappear to again? The fact that someone could disappear twice is what makes this so damn mystifying.
Well, men, what do you make of this size 17 shoe? That's a damn big foot.
Boom, boom, boom. Supposedly unsolved mysteries. Angela Hammond. While Angela Hammond was driving home, she stops at a phone booth to call her fiancé Rob and describes a creepy-looking man in a pickup truck in the parking lot. Her fiancé suddenly hears Angela scream and drives into town to check on her. He passes a pickup truck and sees Angela struggling with an unidentified man. But attempting a pursuit, the transmission on his truck gives out, and this is the last everyone ever sees of Angela. She still hasn't been found and has been missing since 1991. Boom, boom, boom.
Supposedly unsolved
Mysteries. The Topeka State Hospital. The Topeka State Hospital is a 75-year-old mental institution that was closed down in 1997 after patients claimed the staff resorted to abuse, rape, castration, and torture to control them. One patient had been strapped down so long his skin started growing over the straps. The hospital also had its own cemetery. There were over 1,157 graves, yet only 16 had headstones. Boom, boom, boom. Supposedly unsolved mysteries. Dorothy Arity, at the age of 3, after falling down a flight of stairs, began exhibiting strange behaviors, which later turned out to be her vivid memories of her life in ancient Egypt. After being taken by her parents to visit the British Museum and observing a photograph in the New Kingdom's Temple's exhibit room, the young Arity called out, "There's my home!" The temple was that of Seti I, the father of Ramses the Great. However, besides her professional achievements, she is most famous for believing that she was an Egyptian priestess in a past life. Her life and work have been covered by many documentaries, articles, and biographies that, in fact, the New York Times has called her stories one of the Western world's most intriguing and convincing modern cases in history of reincarnation. Jessie's supposedly unsolved mysteries. And there it is, abbreviated, my rendition of Unsolved Mysteries.
I love it.
Thank you. Of course, I had to shorten it for time because we're both doing our thing today. But like, you got a couple unsolved mysteries about true crime in there.
Yeah, something.
You got a couple paranormal things, and you got a couple things to Google. I know it's a little shorter, but keep in mind I've been sick all week, and this is what I bring to the table today.
Jessie literally looked death in the face last week.
I did. I really did. So.
I just kept messaging you. I was like, you're alive, right? Like, Christy would tell me if you died, yeah?
She would. She'd find a way. She'd tell everybody.
Yeah, I figured as much. All 16 listeners.
All 16 listeners, including Rue.
Yep.
But if you are a producer of Unsolved Mysteries, consider this my audition as, like, the new creepy host, because that would make my fucking life. Also, one of my all-time biggest goals in life, and I know this sounds ridiculous, and now it's broken forever, thank you, new producers of Unsolved Mysteries, was to be an Unsolved Mysteries reenactment actor. Like, my life was going to be made if that happened, just because it's something I've always wanted to do. It's not going to happen.
It's a sad moment.
I'm distraught about that. It is.
Well,
so,
maybe they'll get their act together next season.
I know. But, in the meantime, I did want to tell you that next episode, I'm going to be exploring reincarnation.
Oh, I freaking love reincarnation. Like,
oh, it's one of my favorites.
Kids are so creepy in general. Like, every weird, creepy kid story just freaks me out so much that, like, when they're like, oh, yeah, this is where I died. Or, like, remember when I was the mama and you were the baby? It's just like, bro, that shit is so
I'm going to tell a whole bunch of those.
wacky.
I started my research for it this week while trying to do my Unsolved Mysteries thing.
Yeah.
And that's where I got the story of the woman who
Yeah,
is reincarnated from
I've
ancient
heard
Egypt.
her story before. That one is so bonkers.
There's some more that goes into that I'll touch on, but there were so many great ones that I want to make a whole thing out of it.
Yes, I can't wait.
I don't want to half-ass it today. Instead, I'd like to give you guys a little rundown of some shorter things to go along with my rant. And next episode, tune in for a bunch of creepy and cool reincarnation stories.
Heck yes.
What do you think you were in a past life?
Um,
Do you think you've had a past life?
I do. I get a lot of old soul comments, to which I'm always like, thanks, it's the trauma. um, but no, I definitely think I existed in a past life. I feel like it was something very outdoorsy because I have just inclinations towards, I'm good at herbal stuff, and I don't know, like homesteading kind of just comes natural to me.
Oh my god, I was just gonna say, I know what era I would place you in.
Okay, what?
Like early 1900s women's suffrage movement.
Okay, that probably checks out. I'm very opinionated.
Homesteading.
Yeah. No, I could see that. That would make sense. I would see.
Maybe not early 1900s, maybe late 1800s.
Yeah, I was gonna say probably even a
Yeah.
little bit before that. Yeah. What do you think you were?
Well, I did a past life regression once.
Okay. I used to be super into that. Like I've tried a bunch of those like DIY, like with the tapes.
Oh, they have DIY ones? 'Cause
Yeah.
I was just at a metaphysical store looking
Cool.
in it with a boyfriend at one point in time. And they had a flyer up to do it. And we're like, hey, let's just do something weird and out there and see what we get. Why not? It
Mhm.
was $15. So I did it. And what they came up with, or I came up with under their
Yeah.
meditation and stuff, was kind of ancient Greek or ancient Roman.
Okay.
But now, like, having analyzed it more and knowing a lot more about archaeology now than I did at the time, I would say that it's probably Mesopotamian.
Okay.
But I had a life as kind of like a general's wife, but the general pissed off the, I want to say for lack of a better term, like the Caesar, the emperor, or whatever. And he sent troops to kill our family, and I knew they were coming. So before that happened, I poisoned the family, like the kids and stuff.
Yikes.
Yeah, so that's what I came up with that. Is it true? Probably not. I don't
Yeah.
know. I have had past life dreams
Oh.
in which it's always kind of the same life, and I think that's definitely a past life. Because it feels different than other dreams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a memory.
Yeah, exactly. And that was I want to say the 1930s, 40s.
Okay, I could definitely place you in that era.
Yeah. It's really weird. I'll tell you all about the dream
Yes.
next episode, and we'll get into that.
Yeah, no, dreams are fascinating to me. I've had like shared dreams with other people before, and that's been super bonkers.
That's awesome. We ought to do a whole episode about different styles of dreams.
Yeah, for
Because
sure.
I really feel like in my dreams, they're just the random dreams everybody has where, oh, it's just your brain unloading things from the day.
Yeah.
But then I also have dreams where I feel like I'm visited by my grandparents who've passed. And they're very specific dreams that don't feel like anything else. It doesn't feel like me recounting. It's a very different vibe to the dream. And then I've had the past life dream, which is very different. I had a time travel dream once.
Oh, that's cool.
And I just think that was a regular dream. I don't think I actually time traveled, but I squandered it nonetheless.
Huh.
Yeah, I time traveled back in time to the Titanic in this dream. Once again, I didn't actually time travel. I'm convinced this was just a really cool dream I had and nothing more. But I time traveled back in time to the Titanic the night it was going to sink. And I'm sitting there on the deck knowing it's about to sink. But the whole dream I just freaked out about, am I supposed to change the course of history or just observe it? If I change the course of history, will that mess with things? So I just sat on a deck chair with a blanket over me, having those thoughts until the iceberg hit and I woke up, and that was it.
Wow. That's cool. No, I remember being like a little kid. I want to say like 9 maybe. And I was like starting to get kind of interested in like dream interpretation and, you know, all the thoughts behind that. And I remember I had this dream that I was like at a farm and there were just these little happy like baby billy goats playing and jumping around. And I was like, oh, they're so cute. I want a goat. And I woke up and I was like, I wonder what dreaming about goats means. And it was like male sexuality and phallic imagery. And I was like, as a little like unblossomed 9-year-old kid, I was like, I don't think I'm supposed to know about this. And I was like, I felt so shameful and like dirty. I was dreaming about billy goats playing in a field.
You rue with your dirty dreams.
I know, I like cleared the browser history on our like dial-up computer. I was like, oh no.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
Yup.
All right, and on that note, thank you for joining us on
Supposedly.
Supposedly.